So, regular viewers here on the Kermode Uncut site will know that recently I caused a bit of a stir. I was at Cannes and I reviewed the new film by Jean-Luc Godard, Film Socialisme, and I said it was the worst film of the festival, total load of old pants, and it was. But a bunch of people wrote in saying, how dare you be so insulting about Jean-Luc Godard, the person who gave us so much, and the thing which was most often cited is the man who gave us à bout de souffle, or to give it its correct translation, we're all out of souffle. Now, à bout de souffle has just been reissued and is playing in cinema near you, hopefully. And I want to take this opportunity to make the case for the Richard Gere remake of à bout de souffle, Breathless, being better than the original. Now, stick with me. I know it's not a popular view, but there's a couple of key things you have to consider. Firstly, the remake, directed by Jim McBride, stars Richard Gere. Does à bout de souffle star Richard Gere? No. It stars Belmondo, who's fine. Don't get me wrong, he's fine. He's not Richard Gere. He's nowhere near the blinky majesty of Richard Gere. Second point, Richard Gere's trousers. Do you remember the Ruttles? There's a moment in the Ruttles in which Leggy Mountbatten's wife is interviewed about why he signed up the Ruttles. And she says, well, it was mainly their trousers. I feel the same way about the Richard Gere remake of Breathless. The trousers that Richard wears in that movie are quite simply mind-bending. The checks are particularly spectacular. And for a large section of the movie, he does run around wearing just the trousers, as if to say, I'm not wearing these trousers by accident, I'm wearing them on purpose. Pay close attention to the trousers. Third point, architecture. And I am serious about this. A lot of people mock the Jim McBride remake of Breathless by saying, well, you know, it's just a film about Richard Gere's chest. Not at all. In my opinion, it's one of the best architectural depictions of that particular view of LA that I've seen on the screen. Go back and look at it again. I mean, I know, you know, your eye may be distracted by Valerie Kaprisky and Richard Gere, but the architecture going on in the back of that movie is really terrific. It is genuinely a film about its location as much as it is about its subject. Next point, the music, clearly. I have a pet theory about the way the remake of Breathless came about. I think that Jim McBride was directing Dennis Quaid in the Jerry Lee Lewis biopic, Great Balls of Fire. You may remember that Jerry Lee Lewis insisted on doing all his own vocals, but Dennis Quaid could have done them because he's a very, very good singer. He also has a bit of Cajun in him. And I think that Dennis Quaid just casually went, you leave me à bout de souffle, falling over into French. And Jim McBride went, it's brilliant. That's what's wrong with à bout de souffle. It's not Breathless. And from the first moment you see Richard Gere getting into the little baby Porsche and slamming Jerry Lee Lewis into the cassette recorder, you know that they're on to a winner. And finally, the thing which really nails this argument for me, no matter how many things are good about à bout de souffle, and there are several good things about it, I concede, there's no scene in that movie that is as revolutionary as the scene in which Richard Gere has sex with Valerie Kaprisky in a shower whilst singing Elvis Presley's version of Suspicious Minds. Go back and look at it again. I mean, you can say what you want about the nouvelle vague, you can say what you want about classic earth-shattering cinema. Give me Richard Gere with trousers, without trousers, with Valerie Kaprisky in the shower, with Elvis Presley and Jerry Lee Lewis, and tell me that's not a better movie than Jean-Luc ever came up with.